Okay, well, there's Howard. Excellent. Good afternoon. We're just about to get started. I'll put a PDF of the lessons into chat now. I'll do that again at the end of the lecture. Again, I'll go over the four hands that I prepared. If you'd like to discuss any of the other eight, I'm happy to do that once I'm through my four. Just put a mess. Easiest thing is if you just put a message into chat about any hand that I don't cover. I'm happy to go over that at the end. But let's get rid of that. But for the moment, let's go over the ones that I did prepare. The theme for today was loser on loser plays, when you want to do that. Before I go into any specific ones, most of them are, um, there's a danger if you don't do this loser on loser play. Sometimes it's the you're letting the safe hand win a trick so that the dangerous hand doesn't win a trick. That's mostly when you're doing loser on loser plays. But I came up with some examples of ones where they're useful. And we'll go over there and hopefully it can help you out. So the first one, appropriately enough, was board number one. And that should be on the screen now if I've done the screen sharing right. Um, North, I think, should if everybody plays week twos, they open a classical week two hearts pass. The South hand, this is an interesting one. I actually normally you have three hearts if you raise partner suit, but I like raising on this hand. Just because they undoubtedly they have to have a spade fit, and it might make it a bit more awkward for them. So I'll go through the two auctions that I'd suggest. They both end up in the same spot. So if South passed, I think the West hand has a good hand, but they bid two spades, pass. The East hand, it's 8 high card points and a doubleton that's probably useful, and 3 card spade support. If partner has bid over their preempt, you're supposed to throw away your first 6 points. But you've got a little more than that. So I think this is worth a 3 spade bid. And then this hand has a 6 spade, they have an ace, they have a singleton. You can't guarantee it, but I think everything points to it going towards 4 spades. So that's the auction that I put in the write-up, and I think that's fairly standard. That's what would happen if South passed. If South bid 3 hearts, sorry, just getting there. I think it'll go sort of the same. 3 hearts. West will bid 3 spades, pass, and for the same reason, East bumps it up one. So either way, it should end up with 4 spades by West. So they lead the King of Hearts, and we count losers. West has more trumps, so they're the master hand. And their losers are 3 hearts and 1 club. That's one too many, obviously. The good news is that you don't really have the entries to set up diamonds unless something miraculous like King Queen Doubleton is there. But you can rough a heart in dummy. The problem is that you know on the auction that North has 6 hearts and that the heart's going to get over roughed. So the best defense is they win the ace of hearts. Now, if they don't return a heart, you can draw a couple around the trumps and rough a heart. But the best defense is for them to threaten over roughing dummy and hearts. So they do that. And then when they play a third heart, I think you can see if you rough this, it's gonna get over roughed, and you're gonna lose a club in the end. North has nothing to keep aside from the club, so they'll keep that. The loser on loser play is you're transferring the heart loser and the club loser. Instead of roughing away your heart loser, you're going to rough away your club loser. You're going to do that by pitching a club from dummy on the Queen of Hearts. You're letting them win the third round of hearts because you know you'll have time to rough the third round of clubs late, unless there's a very unfortunate distribution. But you knew the heart was going to be over roughed. So there's no real point in roughing a heart in dummy. The best play is to pitch the club. This is one of the loser themes of loser on loser plays. You're trading one potential source of tricks for another potential source of tricks that's safer. And you have to recognize why it's going to be safer. In this case, the weak two bid. Weak twos are good, but it does help the opponents plan the play a bit when they win, if they win the contract. So on the Queen of Hearts, you can pitch a club. They can't do anything. Let's have them win a club. Play a club. We can win the king. Draw a couple of rounds of trumps. They're 2-2 on this, but even if they were 3-1, you'd leave the other trump outstanding and go ace of clubs and rough a club. Okay, and you can see you've got 4 spades and the ace of diamonds. That's enough for your 10 tricks. So that's one of the ones I I've called it transferring the rough. I'm not sure that's really helpful. But instead of roughing suit A, you pitch on suit A and you rough suit B. That's one of the loser on loser play that comes up a fair amount. So that was the first one. All right. Okay, next one was number 3. Okay, so the other one where you want to do loser on loser plays that comes up a fair amount is it's a suit that you can rough, but the intermediates are so good you want to give up a couple of tricks in the suit so that you can set up the long cards in the suit as well. So let's see how this works on this one. South opens. I think with 4-4 in the minors, you should try to open a diamond. The reason is that in a pinch, you can rebid clubs and still have both minors in play. But if you bid a club, you can't bid diamonds after that without showing significant extra values. So I think with 4-4 in the minors, I think it's a good rule to open at a diamond. West should pass, little light on points and a really bad suit. With 4-4 in the majors, you respond with a heart. That's so partner can show spades easily. 1 heart. The East hand, you're vulnerable. It's a bad suit. You only have 10 high card. If you overcall 2 clubs, it's not the worst call in the world, but it's really not recommended. On this hand, I think 2 clubs, if somehow they can double 2 clubs for penalties, I think it goes for 500. And that's not too big a surprise. So East should pass. South bids 1 spade. Pass. The North hand has 11 high card points. The King of Diamonds is promoted, but you still have no aces. Doubleton Club may or may not be useful. It's still about 11 or 12 points in support. I don't think it's worth going to 4 spades. We wouldn't have opened this hand had it gone past pass. So 3 spades limit is about right. This one's closer. South has 13, but it's a good 13. You never know with a singleton and partner suit. If you pass 3 spades, that's fine, but let's have fun and play 4 spades. So South is playing 4 spades. West leads. Sorry. There we go. What should West lead first? Well, they bid hearts and diamonds. We don't like leading trumps unless we have a good reason to, especially away from the jack. If partner has like the queen or the king by itself, a spade lead might very well burn a trick in the trump suit. So I would suggest leading the 10 of clubs. You do have the 10 and the 9, so let's see what declare can think. So with 4-4 fits, you can have either hand become the master hand, depending on where the winners are, where the transportation is. But you can count losers from either hand. So let's try counting losers as if South was the master hand. Hopefully they have no spades. They have 1 heart. They have 3 club losers, and they have 2 diamond losers if everything breaks badly. Obviously, you can rough probably 1 trick in dummy. Diamonds might break. But the big nice source of tricks is going to be that Queen Jack 10 9 of hearts. That's going to be really useful. So on the 8 of clubs, um, each should duck this. If they play the ace, then the king queen of clubs are going to score separately. Um, but they shouldn't play the ace. So they should wait to take the king of clubs with the ace. So there's no real danger that Declare has a singleton queen here. So we'll win the queen. So if North is looking at North's losers, they have two hearts. Obviously, they can rough some and dummy, one club and one diamond. So the North has fewer losers than South. So let's try making North the master hand. Well, if North's the master hand, then we want to use the value of this Queen Jack 10 9 of hearts. So if we let's do that dummy entry. Dummy doesn't have very many quick entries. So let's do that quick. Let's play a heart. West should duck um, because for the same reason that East ducked at trick one. They want to make sure that they don't score a cheap trick, and they want to, if you play the king, they can rough away partner's ace. So we'll play low. They win the ace. They'll probably cash the ace of clubs here. That doesn't really matter too much. And let's have them shift to the jack of diamonds. That feels pretty normal. Now we want to preserve the entries to the north hand. I think you have enough anyway, but I'd win the ace of diamonds because I want my entries to be in the north hand. Sorry about the phone. Now, finally, mercifully, we can draw trumps. We want to end up in dummy in the north hand. So king of spades and a third spade. Now here comes our loser on loser play. We're going to play the jack of hearts, and it would be nice if they covered so that the 10 9 are good by themselves. But even when they don't have it, because they don't have the king, we pitch a diamond here. They can win the king, but now you can see you've got the 10 9 of hearts, the king of diamonds. Let's have them return a diamond. We can pitch our other diamond away on the hearts. And now we can rough a diamond, and North's last two cards are good. So this was another one where loser on loser. This wasn't one where you were trying to get someone to win or someone not to win. It was one where you're knocking out their cards, even though you could have roughed a heart or two, because you needed those high cards as tricks that you needed to set up. So that's another one of the loser on loser play. You do that to transfer your diamond loser to a heart loser, and in the same way, you are setting up the other hearts as winners. That's one of the less frequent than I think hand number one. But it comes up a moderate amount where you want to use that as a loser on loser play. Set up your winners instead of roughing when you don't have to. All right. So that was hand number three. The next one is number six. Okay, this is a more basic one, and it sort of requires a little bit of misdefense, but hopefully, even if they didn't defend it this way, the lesson will be an applicable one. All right, auction anyway. So on this hand, East is the opening bidder. They have 12 high card, good 5 card suit, and a singleton. That's an easy one heart bid. Little bit light for one spade. I think passes right. So I know we've done this particular lesson a lot, but West has an opening bid and they have 3 card heart support. You don't want to just bid 4 hearts, even though you know you want to end up there. The reason is just bidding 4 hearts right over one shows a different kind of hand. It's what we've called the weak freak hand. 5 trumps, about 5 to 9 high card, hopefully a singleton somewhere. It's more a preemptive bid than I've got opening bid values as well. So with the opening bid values in a fit, you have to find a temporizing bid to show partner that you have some strength, and then you can get to four hearts. So fortunately everything's forcing here. So I would suggest starting with two clubs. It's your longest suit, whether it's 2/1 or not. Pass two diamonds, pass. So now in standard American, this is a four heart bid or maybe a three heart bid, which should be forcing. Um, if you're playing 2/1, you'd go slower. Um, if you'd like, after the hand's over, I can go through a 2/1 auction on this. But a standard, I think this should be a standard American auction. Don't bid four hearts the first time, but get there the second time. This way, if East had a stronger hand, like if East had the same hand with the king queen of clubs, for example, then they could be comfortable going on over four hearts, whereas they weren't going to be sure if it just went one heart, four hearts. They'd be scared to go there. Anyway, you're in four hearts. So what should we lead with the south hand? This is an auction that suggests, because East has shown a club suit, there's a danger that they might be getting pitches on the clubs. So I think you want to lead aggressively from between spades and diamonds here. So spade lead is what I was suggesting leading. I think that one I'd be comfortable with. If it goes into the ace queen, it goes into the ace queen, but you want to try and set up your tricks as quickly as possible. Six of spades. So good news is we're going to make this. We have five heart tricks, four diamond tricks, and the ace of clubs. The lesson that I wanted to present on this hand is your losers are one spade and two clubs. If it goes six of spades, you play low from dummy. North wins the ace, and it goes 10. If North made the not unreasonable play of returning a spade, instinctively you're thinking, oh, great, I want to rough this. If you rough this, you're going to lose two clubs. There's just no way around it. But this is a play that comes up a fair amount. If you exchange one of your club losers, and give them a spade winner, then you're going to get rid of both of your club losers. We'll see how this works out. Three of spades. If we pitch a club here, they win the king. Now whatever they play, now they shift to a club. It's too late. Now we can just draw trumps. And we might as well end up in dummy. We could get there with the king of diamonds anyway, but now we can play the queen of spades, which is now high, and we can pitch our other club loser. So this required a little bit of missed defense, but I hope that the lesson that I was trying to impart is that sometimes it's a good idea to pitch a loser that you're going to have to lose anyway, so that you can set up in a trick in the suit that they're leading. That's something that comes up fairly frequently when they're trying to cash out their high card. Sometimes they accidentally set up some of your high card if you use this loser on loser play. It can come up a fair amount. They assume you're gonna rough, but then you turn the tables on them and you don't, and you manage to set up tricks that you otherwise wouldn't have gotten. I think most people would be hopefully in four hearts and make four. But if they went ace of spades, spade, hopefully you can see the loser on loser play to set up the queen of spades for trick 11 rather. All right, so that was the bidding on that one and the play. And the last lesson hand. This is another one that comes up in various incarnations. Let's go through the auction first. North opens one spade, that's fine. East passes. South is balanced with their 8 high card points, but you don't want to suppress 3 card spade support. there are some systems that they do that, but it's a good idea. Partner probably has more well, definitely has more points than you. You want to let them know about a fit right away. You can start doing evaluation later, but your first priority is to show a fit when you have one. Um, with the exception that we had in round 6 where you needed to show strength then fit. So anyway, all that means is South should bid 2 spades, not 1 no trump. The West hand isn't that strong, but it's such a good heart suit, and I really, really want a heart lead. It's probably safe. I like popping in here with 3 hearts. The North hand now, let's look at they have 16 high card. They have a singleton heart that's probably worth a couple of points. So it's about 18. You'd like to be able to make a game try, ask partner how good their 2 spade bid is. But unless you play very sophisticated methods, they've taken the entire 3 level away from you. 3 spades isn't a game try. 3 spades is just trying to compete in spades over their hearts. So you just have to sort of guess when you've got the in-between hand, whether you just bid 3 spades or you bid 4 spades. I think with this hand, it's worth bidding 4 spades, hope the partner's hand fits well. That should end the auction. All right. Opening lead, we're certainly leading a heart. We didn't raise partner's suit, so we suggest leading low from 3 in partner's suit when you haven't raised them. If it was an auction, a slightly different auction where East had managed to raise West's hearts, then they'd lead the 9. But here, because they haven't done that, they lead the 5. We play. Well, let's count losers first. We have 1 spade loser, 1 heart loser, 1 club loser. That's fine, but there's a fairly big chance that spades are 4-1. When they've competed over your single raise one, that sort of increases the pure odds that your trump suit isn't going to break. It goes from, I think it's 36. It's probably in the mid 40s that spades are going to split 4-1 or worse. So we want to try and make plans for that. What we want to avoid doing is having to ruff twice in the north hand. So anyway, let's go through trick 1. Trick 1's going to go a heart to the 10. Then they're undoubtedly going to play another high heart. You have to plan the play a lot here. Let's do what looks instinctive first. We ruff the heart. Now we play a couple of spades. And East should duck this. I don't think it. Well, I'm not sure. East should duck this anyway, so that they can draw dummies trump. Oh, I should have made diamonds not split. Okay. Now the problem is if you keep pumping after trumps, they can lead another heart. And now when you ruff, East has the only trump remaining. They're gonna take that and you're gonna go down 1. You're also gonna lose a club. So you're gonna go down 1 there. What you wanted to sort of do is exhaust East's hearts. You wanted to stop the person who had 4 trumps from being able to force you to ruff twice. And the way you do that is you exchange one of your heart losers for a club loser that you were always going to lose anyway. So let's see how that works. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, let's go back all the way to the start. All right. So we've led the 5 of hearts. Sorry, I'll just get all these undos to disappear. Excellent. So 5 of hearts, they win the 10. And now they play the ace of hearts. The play I like here, the play that I suggest, if we pitch a club on this trick, specifically this trick, now they can lead another heart, But now you can see when we don't have a club loser anymore. And when East wins the ace of spades, they don't have a third heart to tap you with. So you might be thinking, well, couldn't we just do that the next time around? Well, it doesn't quite work. You had to make that loser on loser play at trick 2. There was no danger because you had all 100 honors and trumps. There was no danger of promoting a trump trick in East, a high trump trick. They can take one by having more spades than the north hand, but they can't have better spades than the north hand, except for the ace. So if sorry, so let's try. If you roughed trick 2, and let's just have them win the ace. That's fine. And now we can't rough this, but now if we make our loser on loser play, they still West is on lead, and they can just still tap North with hearts. So I think number 9 was by far the most difficult hand of the 4 lesson hands. You not only had to make your loser on loser play, you had to make it at the right time. But the thing that you're looking for is, oh, I'm in danger of being tapped. Is there some way I can stop the person who has the long trumps from being able to force me to rough? That's the mentality that gets into the play of pitching a club at trick 2. East might force me to rough, but if they don't have a heart when when they win the ace of spades, they can't tap me a second time, and I can make it when they split 4-1. So those are my 4 lesson hands. I'll put the lesson into chat again. Thank you. Hopefully I didn't contradict myself too much. Loser on loser plays cover a fairly wide spread as to why they're needed. But it's like after you start looking at losers and looking at winners, this is one way where you can shift losers from one suit to another, either because somebody's a danger hand or somebody can rough something, or you want to set up your side suit. It's a good tool to have in your declare play bag. You get more tricks out of cards that otherwise might have been useless. I think that's about it for my planned lecture. If anybody would like to go over the bidding or play of any of the other hands other than 1, 3, 6, and 9, I'm happy to go over those. Okay. All right then, folks. Well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the lecture, and I hope you
Thank
enjoyed
you.
the game. I think we can call it an afternoon, and have yourselves a good evening.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye-bye.